I need a new song. This is a preset. This is our Roadcaster 2 preset. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Nouns on the Air. We are live every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That might be quickly changing a little bit soon. We'll go into all those details later, but it is awesome to have you guys here with us live. I've tweeted out this link. Of course, if you aren't already following us on YouTube or subscribed, please subscribe so you guys can get notified when we're live, because what if we all of a sudden started doing lives on like Mondays or Tuesdays or Wednesdays? I don't know. You guys would want to stay informed on that. So we're excited to be here. We are actually live in Tokyo. I know that we had a similar sort of background behind us. It's kind of like the aesthetic of Japan is these like sliding shade things, but we are in Tokyo, Japan. So excited. We spent 2 days in Osaka. Weren't live there at all. How does it feel, Cheffo, being traveling around Japan to Kyoto, Osaka, Tokyo now?
It's great. It's amazing. It's amazing how much, how just is going on in Japan. It's crazy at what can be on an island. I mean, Japan's not like a small island or a group of islands, but it is wild. There's one of the largest economies in the world here, and we are in technically the largest city in the world, which is still like mind blowing, but also, like it's not crazy here actually.
It kind of is. Like when we landed here, we always are doing some research on the different cities that we're in. And I did not know this, but Tokyo is the most populated city on planet Earth. How many millions of people?
36.
That's insane.
I think.
Oh, that wasn't loud enough. Shout out Tokyo. Largest population on Earth. It's massive, but also you can go into like these little pockets. We are in like a cool part of Shinjuku, which is just a little bit north of Shibuya. Okay, so we're learning here. We are learning. We are in kind of like a corporate sort of business area. There are like corporate hotels and kind of that kind of vibe, and like a bunch of people in business outfits and things. But there's huge different other pockets that we are going to explore, such as today. No sound. Wait, hold on.
Yeah, let's check the sound.
No sound. I'm seeing sound right here. Let me see.
We need a technical screen.
Oh no, I'm seeing sound. Maybe your computer's down. I just looked on YouTube. The sound is there. I don't know what would be going on with LinkedIn, but it's awesome to have you here on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. We love live streaming to Twitter, to our YouTube, to LinkedIn, and to Twitch. So maybe turn your computer. Oh, you can hear us now. You know what? I've done that before. I've done that before to someone and like I was muted. But it's awesome to have you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Nouns on the Air. We are live Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That might increase soon to a couple more days. But we are currently live from Tokyo, Japan. So it's awesome to have you here. It's awesome to have our friend GM in the chat, who we are actually meeting with in just a few hours here, and going to be wandering around Tokyo to different museums and an NFT gallery. We are so freaking excited to meet you. It's going to be great. Greetings from Malaysia.
Nice.
Ooh, I think you're our first viewer who's ever shouted us out in the chat from Malaysia. That's awesome to have you here. We're kind of like in the same little time zone part of the world right now, I think, which is awesome. I think it's the evening time with all of our friends in New York, and just getting to that later afternoon, evening PST as well. I have some family in Hawaii who already reached out to me this morning. It's their afternoon and like their lunchtime. So we live stream and kind of hit all these different parts of the world. It's been awesome being able to be live in Japan, because we gotta have a different time zone that we're doing stuff in. We're really excited to be here with you guys. I was just talking about Tokyo for some reason. Oh my gosh. We have been...
There's a lot of reasons.
There's a lot of reasons. So we're in this like corporate-y sort of hotelish part of town, but all you have to do is venture a little bit outside of it. There's obviously these huge, pockets of areas. Our favorite one, I'll speak for myself, but I feel like maybe you could feel the same way as well, has been the Harajuku neighborhood. We have been going down there and photographing people. It is incredible. People have such amazing style. I don't even know what to say. Like I could sit down there every single day and kind of just take photographs of people.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it feels like Japanese hipsters.
Yeah, even cooler than that. Like it's their own style. I'm really, really loving the whole vibe of that area. Food has been really incredible, but the timing of food is interesting. We kind of experience the same issues in Kyoto, where there's like very distinct times people are open. So you better not be hungry before 11 a.m. or sometimes before 5 p.m. And then you better be only hungry between like 5 and 8 because a lot of things will close down in very popular areas too, which I find very interesting.
Yeah, and people they take reservations,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting. Like I get it, but it's also like they're kind of like these like tiny restaurants that you just wouldn't expect them to take reservations, but they definitely are. And yeah, we've been turned around many a time.
Yes, without reservations.
Toshi gets hungry. And
Yes.
she gets
Well, both Cheffo and I are not
gets a
the
little
type of people. If
crazy.
they're like, it's an hour wait, we're like, oh, we're good. We like need that instant gratification meal. But the food that we have had so far has been amazing. I've been enjoying little sweet treats around Tokyo, but I think that we have a few more days left to explore here. We are here actually in Tokyo and in Japan in general because of our prop that we put through NounsDAO. I can't even believe it, but we are like much more than halfway done through our prop now to just hitting July now. I'm going to actually pull up Nouns so you guys can learn a little bit more about that. This live stream and all of our travels is brought to you by and possible through NounsDAO. If you want to learn more about our specific proposal with Nouns, you can go to nouns.wtf/vote/206. But in the meantime, I'll just give you a little crash course on what Nouns is. NounsDAO is a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization, which essentially means that this little NFT here, it's just fully on chain. It gets auctioned. One is auctioned every single day. This one is currently going for 30.8 Ethereum, which is wild. That seems to be this like, people are just kind of coming in with that exact same bid every single day. Seems to be a trend.
Who's been winning the any non-doxed wallets?
Oh, I love that greasy treasure chest. That was from yesterday. Let's see. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure if we did a little bit of digging, we could find out who these wallets belong to. That's kind of the crazy fun thing about crypto is that it's all transparent. You can take this wallet address right here and search it and see what else is in that wallet, but we can do that at a later time. Essentially, what's going to happen is once this auction is done and is settled, and whoever this winner is going to get that NFT, and then the rest of the funds from this auction go into the DAO. And the DAO is currently sitting at 28,769 Ethereum. That's just a cool 52.9 million US dollars. And the DAO uses this treasury fund to fund builders and people who turn in these proposals. And so when I told you a little bit earlier that we are funded by a specific proposal, that's Prop 206. You can find that actually here on this page. Currently, there are 326 proposals that have gone up. We kind of casually go over these sometimes, especially because we haven't been live since like the last couple of days. So I do want to say that since that point in time, Prop 319 is now active. That's for Nerman.js. Let's see, Nerman.js. We love the Nerman one. It's some of these props, it's kind of like a weird season for
Nerman?
props. It's looking like a no. That's looking like it's not going to pass. Let's see, Mogu, Nounify Korea stamp collection.
What is Mogu?
Let's see, Mogu.
Oh, it's like this thing that Krell put in for. It's like a search engine or something.
Oh, okay, like a different search engine. Unfortunately,
how is it doing?
That does not look like it's going to be passing. There seems to be a season happening right now with Nouns where it's a little bit harder to pass props. We do, while we were not live over the last couple of days, it's
a little bit like an ice age.
Well, that's interesting because maybe there's going to be a certain type of animal that can help us through this ice age, such as a penguin. such as a penguin. I'm really excited to get to that too. I do want to just point out Prop 316, expanding global distribution of lo-fi noggles. I fully believe in this prop. This became a little bit contentious in the last kind of hour of this proposal. There is a new like governance pool that people can delegate their nouns to if they don't wish to vote, and apparently you can bid on those votes now. So that's just a whole other story. We're not going to get into any of that. That is like it's a whole own live episode, I feel like, because I want to talk about the things that
it's affecting things, and supposedly I think it's up
true,
to
but I feel like
over 60 votes now.
I do feel like,
which is basically like quorum.
Yes, but I do feel like we have to, like, if we're going to talk about it, we should sit down and have like a fully dedicated episode about it so we can, and not just kind of like have this casual conversation about it. But there's a lot of different voting mechanisms that are different and have not happened with the nouns before that are currently happening. It's a little bit of a more complicated story than just like a, hey, here's how you get into nouns and stuff. So maybe we can do a dedicated thing. Maybe that's what we talk about tomorrow.
Sure.
Maybe tomorrow we talk about governance. But today, let's just do a little bit of I just wanted to kind of go through these props that are here. Public good global expansion. We've had firsthand experiences with public good beer. There we are, just right on the cover of their proposal. 10 out of 10 delicious. Aubtoshi.
It's a world class beer. It really is a great beer. It's a great beer, you know.
This is a great beer. And then you kind of were explaining it in a great way. But as far as you know about this public expansion, it's not that physical beers would be shipped to these breweries. Is it that they could use the wrapper and like have the recipe?
Yeah, and it's pretty difficult to ship alcohol around the world for lots of different reasons.
A CC0 beer label and recipe that would be sent to, I think there's a cute little map here. Let me just see.
Yeah, there's like 7.
Here we go.
One of them is in Kentucky, I think.
Yep. We have 3 in the U.S. One is looking like it's over in Portugal. And then down in Brazil, of course, this is kind of where it originated, I believe. That's where the first sort of proliferation experiences that you're going to see in these photos here happened. A lot. Oh, there we are again. Hey.
Well, that's where Fabio Seva is located, who is the creator of this.
You know, anytime someone has just a really great idea in nouns and it's a physical product that we can touch, please let us know, because we are just such great supporters of that. Which is why we're going to get to these delicious little delicious penguins. I don't know. To me, they're just cute and delicious when I think about it.
You're a polar bear now? You eat penguins?
I am so excited to talk about the penguins, but I really want... Oh, there we are again. Look at us. You know what it means to be a brand ambassador, guys? It means supporting other parts of this brand. The best part about Nouns is so many different people, all different ideas and places and things can be proposed to Nouns. And we, if it's a great idea and it benefits the ecosystem as a whole, would love to help you promote that idea. What a great idea for us to have, because look at us on this live stream, the Nouns on the Air. There couldn't be a better place for you to have an opportunity to talk about your project and what you want to propose to Nouns. Please let us know. We're very open about that. Reach out. We like to have guests. We like to talk about products. 10 out of 10 delicious. Public good beer. I really hope that proposal passes. Temporarily pause auctions is canceled. Maybe we could save that for our governance talks. There was no description for this proposal.
What a psycho.
I don't know who put this in, but they canceled it because I think they got told that maybe that was not a great idea. Okay, the moment we've been waiting for. Noggles and Pudgy Penguins. I am so excited about this prop. I believe it starts in 4 days. Yes. This has just been put on chain. It starts in 4 days. You have 4 days to kind of mull it all over, do your research, find out what Pudgy Penguins is, but we're going to give you a fun little crash course on what Pudgies are.
We need a penguin noise.
We need a penguin noise. That is such a good idea.
They definitely make noises. That's not a penguin.
That's kind of like...
That is
I'm like
not
in
a
my
penguin.
little igloo.
What does this one do? That's not a penguin.
No. I think this is my... Yeah. Just close your eyes. Transport yourself to a colder place. A cuter place.
Cuter than what? This right here?
Cuter than wherever you are right now. It's a guarantee can be cuter than where you are right now. NounsDAO and Pudgy Penguins collaboration for a high-end toy collection. Oh my God! With a percentage of profits going towards the purchase of a noun to bring the huddle, which is the whole Pudgy Penguins little community, into the DAO, NounsDAO. Okay, just so you guys know, if you're just here for the first time and have no idea what the heck a Pudgy Penguin is, I have prepared you for this moment. So they're an NFT project that has become so much more. They're really truly becoming this bridge between Web 2 and Web 3. And how they're doing that is through toys. So here's the official Pudgy Penguins toy commercial, which I have readied for you guys. Hold on one second here. You're going to love this.
Julie, it's time to go.
Julie's room's a freaking mess. But I guess that's great for this
It's a
video.
cute mess.
All right, Pengers. Coast is clear. My back was
Pengers.
starting to hurt.
It's a beautiful day.
Has anyone seen my hat? My igloo is a mess.
What's that sound?
Just a minute. I need to grab my pudgy.
Back to your places.
Quiet, everyone.
Oh my God.
Coast is clear. Nice hat. Did you
Wow. Pudgy toys available on freaking Amazon. Okay. Pretty sure they sold out. There's a part in here that talks about them selling out. Hold on. Let me just say about this. Okay. There was an explanation at some point. But the other video that I have readied for you is the fact that this collaboration and this proposal talks about them wanting to do a special Pudgy toy / nouns collab, which of course is going to include the NounsDAO noggles. So it's going to have blue noggles, there's going to be red noggles, and there's going to be a special edition, like 10 of them that have gold noggles. But why this matters is because they truly are creating that cool bridge for people, going from like a physical product into leading them into the Web3 world, which we know can be very hard to do and very hard to onboard people into because there's so much going on. So this is kind of like a great 4-minute video of exactly how these toys do that from the CEO himself, Luca Netz.
Hey, I'm Luca Netz, the CEO of Pudgy Penguins. And
Let's go,
today
Luca.
We're doing an unboxing video. So we have our Pudgy Penguin figures,
Oh my gosh.
and I just bought it from the store. So let's see what I got. So we got Mr. Cowboy. He's a Rough Rider. What an amazing little figure. So you can take off the hat,
Oh,
switch out the hats as you want, and you
Come
can also
on.
remove the glasses and switch out his glasses.
oh,
look
and
at
maybe
that.
put noggles on,
Hmm.
perhaps.
We're not done. So inside there's a birth certificate. On the birth certificate it says, "You are now the proud owner of a very special Pudgy Penguin who will stay by your side through thick and thin. Thank you for adopting this Pudgy as your forever friend. By signing this certificate, you promise to give it a lifetime of love, friendship, and fun."
Yeah, sign me up.
It's official. We're adopting my Pudgy Penguin.
I immediately need to adopt a
And to
nouns
the
one.
right, there's a QR code. I'm gonna scan my QR
Interesting
code.
signature, Luca.
And I just got my unique trait code. So it says, please visit pudgyworld.com on your desktop to redeem your trait box using your unique trait code.
Okay, this is where it
down here.
happens, you guys. This is the
So I have a
crossover.
Great, awesome landing page. Once a Pudgy, always a Pudgy. I'm going to crack this open just to see because it tells me to crack. That's pretty cool. Okay, I see where we're going.
We now have
Need
this
the wizard
physical
hat.
toy, and it's going to lead us to a whole Web3 sort of world
Nice.
without us even
Customize your
maybe
Pudgy.
knowing that.
It's got a pretty cool landing page. Forever Pudgy, customize, share, play, make a new friendship, and prepare for adventure. All right, well,
I'm
I
ready.
get that. So now I'm going to click explore. And now I've made it to an igloo,
Hmm.
in which it asks me to enter the igloo. So I'm going to enter the igloo as follows.
Yes. Here we go.
It
This is
now
the moment.
asking me to sign in. That email is here. So now it's asking me for a code.
Or I guess you
went
could do
to my
that with your
email
wallet.
address,
Yes, you can do email
64843
or Wallet Connect.
It looks like I just made an account, so it gave me these little default traits. That's fun. So I guess I already comes with a couple of traits. But now let's find where to redeem these traits. All right, here you go. So now it's asking me to redeem. I have my redemption code. I'm going to input my redemption code
So freaking smart.
as follows. Wow. Now I've got
Loot
a loot box.
boxes.
This is fun. So now it says to tap to open the box. All right. I'll tap. Tippity tap. We got an astronaut suit. Let's see what else we got. It says I'll go astro nuts if I wear this suit. All right. This is an uncommon bucket hat. I don't like uncommon. I like rare. Ah, circle glasses.
Imagine if that was
doesn't-
We
Nuggles.
got one.
Doesn't
I need to rip
uncommon
some more
mean rare?
packs. So look, I just got my traits. So we're gonna put on the bucket hat.
I don't know.
Now we're going to put on the circle glasses, and we'll put on the astronaut suit. Oh, I can make them dance and fake fly.
Yay.
That's pretty cool. What else can you do? Okay, so I've got a world map. The rest of the map is locked. I can see how many Pudgies are online. I can friend them, like Facebook, friend.
And they all have their own unique wallet addresses. Hello.
I'm trying to get as many friends as possible in the Pudgy world. Let's take a deep dive. Arcade. So it's telling me I can select some games. Only one game available now, which is chess. I'm really good at chess. Select my
Hey.
friend.
We're really good
None
at
of my friends
chess.
are online.
I'm better
Random
than you.
Pudgy, or can play against the computer.
I'm more humble
We'll
than
go
you.
hard mode against the computer. But realistically,
I hate
let's go to my
computer
profile
chess.
really quick.
I
So
can't
these
do
are
it. My brain
traits. This is
can't do
everything
it.
I've collected.
Kind of like it's like a bird's eye view.
These are my friends. I only have one. His name is Nelio.
Cool. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay. So what we just saw is the fact that you can create a toy and then onboard people into Web3 through that. This Pudgy Penguins Nouns proposal proposes for them to make specific, unique edition toys with red noggles, blue noggles, and gold noggles. You guys, this seems like such a huge deal. Luca Nets has really taken Pudgy Penguins to the next level. They are not just the basic PFP NFT company anymore. They are next level, showing us what to do play by play to like really bring value and utility to communities, which is something that is a word that you hear quite often in NFTs and in Web3, utility. Like, how are you going to provide value for your communities once you founded them? I'm so excited for this prop. Shout out to Prof Worder for helping them put this proposal on chain and helping them kind of sort of nounify the proposal itself. But truly, to be able, for me personally, I kind of have like watched the Pudgy Penguins toy launch, and you know, from the beginning, I've always kind of wanted one. We went to VCon. They had the actual Pudgies there. I feel like an idiot for not getting one while there. But I feel like now, if there was like these nouns traits, like just, it's a no-brainer for me. Like I'm trying to get those to get like the gold ones, of course, but I'd be so happy with the cute Pudgy with red ones or even blue ones. What do you think?
There you go.
What do you think about the prop?
How much is it for?
10 ETH.
Oh, yeah, that's...
Let's freaking go. Are you kidding me?
Is it really only 10 ETH?
Yes.
Pull it up.
Dude, literally,
I mean,
I'll pull it up on the screen right freaking now. We'll window capture it. We'll look at this together. Toy launch, Pudgy Penguins. Oh, no, wait, hold on. La, la, la. The Nouns version of this collectible would have a similar digital connection via the RFID chip with provenance demonstrated on the blockchain in the ethos of NounsDAO. It would come with its own custom box, integrated story, and a collectible card, optimizing the best collector experience possible.
okay.
Let's see, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they have a great, did you know that they're like social, they're, oh my God, why am I,
Hello.
their social media sites have like tons of followers, like hundreds of thousands of
Yeah,
followers.
those are big views on some of those videos.
Because they're freaking cute. Are you kidding me? Look at this. You don't even have to understand NFTs to understand that this is adorable, which is like so standout to me. Let's see. We are proposing to create 499 red penguins, 499 blue penguins with the matching Nouns glasses. We would retail it for $2.99, and we would have a 10 total penguins with the lot that would feature a pair of gold glasses, so the rares. The gold glasses figures will be treated as a golden ticket and will be randomly given to 10 lucky purchasers. We want to add gold plating to these gold glasses to make the value proposition even more special. We expect this collectible to be ready for launch 4 months after passage of this prop in time for the holidays. So about December. December 8th is what their projection is on that. And then in addition to this, they're going to take parts of the profits to buy a noun so that they can bring the huddle and the whole Pudgy Penguins community into NounsDAO. Them buying a noun means that their Pudgy Penguins community, the huddle, gets to vote on all these different other proposals that come in.
So,
That is incredible.
yeah.
Team, the Pudgy Penguins team. Blah, blah, blah. We are asking for 10 ETH.
10 ETH to the lot.
Funds would be used to add the 10 gold penguins to the lot and add this special touch in gamification, which would otherwise be a huge loss leader if not covered.
I mean, 10 ETH for me is like obviously, in relatively speaking, not a lot of ETH relative to the overall treasury. It's kind of confusing, to be honest, though, because like 10 ETH is not for the production of the other toys, and so obviously Pudgy Penguins is going to cover the production cost of the other 1,000 toys.
Yeah.
And so,
Well, because the nouns traits are CC0.
right, but the 1,000 toys are going to cost like whatever they're going to cost. Let's call it $100,000 to produce them. They're obviously going to make their money back plus profit. And so the 10 ETH for me, it's a strange number, to be honest. I'm not trying to FUD the prop. I love the penguins. I think that it would be great to have them involved in nouns. But
I think it would be fantastic. I think
just
it's
don't
like,
understand the prop.
I do feel like it's like an introduction of themselves into nouns. Apparently 87 Bones and Shan delegated to help get them on chain. And the prop did help them write this.
Like, I don't understand why they call it a lost leader. You know what I mean?
Well, he has talked extensively about it on the Noun Square, on the Little Noun Show, and on other spaces. So maybe there's like the actual reason that they've done this. But I do see this prop as like one of the ways that people can actually communicate with nouns is by putting a prop on chain. That's what sparks a conversation. That's what gets holders' attention. That's what kind of introduces yourself to the rest of the NounsDAO ecosystem.
Yeah.
And I think that like them putting that prop up there is a huge deal. Like saying, hey, like they're one of, I'm sorry, but like they're the NFT company that I think of when I think of like ones that are doing things right in the ecosystem.
Yeah, nothing taking away from what they're doing. They're obviously like pretty much tying like the loop in probably like the most clean way. I mean, you see Yuga trying to do things and whatever where they like make their worlds and all that, but the way that the Pudgies have created that adoption system, and then it will lead to gaming environments and this, that.
It's a huge deal.
It's a huge deal. I just
deal.
don't understand the prop.
Okay, well, maybe you should read it and listen to some of their spaces. But I completely get it. I love you, Pudgy Penguins. I am so excited, Luca, that you've brought this idea to Nouns. Thank you so much. It's very meaningful. As a proposer and builder who talks about nouns quite often, it's really exciting to see these props that I feel like are very much in alignment with this sort of mission. I would hope that Nouns would want to create animations and toys and do all these things.
I feel like for 10 ETH, it's not like...
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's kind of... Yeah, I don't think that there's anything wrong with like going prop by prop and looking at this and saying, okay, like why is that like this? Why is this like this? Like what are the goals? When you at that like lower amount, and frankly, I think it's the lowest amount that we've seen asked for on chain. I can't think of another prop.
There are some props that are free that are like just like sort of changes to
yeah,
things.
those are like changes. But as far as funding, I think it's the lowest amount of funding asked for on chain thus far, which for me, like that's actually more important than the prop itself. Like I think personally, and I've been saying this for a year now, that Nouns should be experimenting with lower amounts on chain. And yes, there can be things like NSFW and DCS. There can be funding pods. I think that that mechanism should also be expanded with additional technology built on top of it to make those function better. But, you know, at the end of the day, I never quite understood it when people were like, oh, you know, it can't be on chain unless it's 50 ETH. It's not worth our time because everyone's time is so valuable. We can't read these props and vote on it. And it's like, I mean, now we have a governance pool. And so even if people like, I mean, in a way, like I don't like the governance. The governance pool for me, I think there's nothing wrong with people
Wait, just
like,
while you're talking, I'm just getting a computer charger.
yeah, definitely. I don't think there's anything wrong with people pooling their votes, especially if like there's, you know, if they're too busy to read things or if they're like, you know, not in that headspace for a period of time. You know, there's nothing wrong with delegating those votes, and not necessarily delegating it to like an individual, because when you do delegate it to an individual, then you're kind of like putting your faith in that individual. I think delegating it to a pool is a very interesting mechanism. I don't love how the pool can be bought. Like that's
Well, again, that's such a
weird.
complicated thing. We're not even like we have brand new people in here
Sure.
who were just talking about these very specific things. Like
But
we
we'll
have
always,
to have a dedicated episode where we're going to talk about these governance parts, guys, because part of the thing that happens when you have proposals that go on chain with a DAO treasury, especially one of this size, is a very large conversation completely centered around governance. But
Yeah.
I don't want to confuse people who are here with us for the first time. Also, who is it? Oh, Asash, it's awesome to have you here from India. Thank you so much. Good to see you. GM friends, we have a lot of people on LinkedIn today. Thank you guys
Cool.
so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Again, we have a couple of episodes that we have gone and done like a little bit of a deep dive on governance. Also, this is something that we talk about with certain people in interviews when we are live during events. But again, I don't want to make it confusing for people who are just joining us for the first time.
Yeah, but we're always going to have first time people. So at some point, you know, that will stop mattering. But
I know, but we are so involved in this community that like these words like governance pool and stuff, we can just completely throw around very casually, but they're a little bit of a deeper, longer conversation about that. Cheffo's dying. He's chomping at the bit to just like dive right into this.
I mean, I don't know. Like I try and be fair and I try and look at things and, you know, just like everyone else, like people always have kind of like a first gut reaction, and then you kind of have to like sit with that and then say, okay, am I right about this? What am I missing here? Like,
That's actually a
know,
good
and so
call out for
I-
our viewers right now too. Like,
just
are
being-
you
being-
guys,
keeping it
I
real?
would love to know, especially on LinkedIn for all of our new viewers today, are you guys familiar with DAOs, DAOs in Web3? Are you guys familiar with any type of like governance systems within NFT world? I would love to know. You can just even reply yes or no. NFT Persian, it's awesome to have you here. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Are you guys familiar with DAOs? Are you guys familiar or part of any type of DAO structure in the Web3 world? Are you even involved in Web3, or did you find us through a different place and platform? I know on LinkedIn, I do a lot of like really awesome follows of kind of people from all different types of industries. We specifically here, Nouns in the Air, cover Web3, different culture and communities in Web3. We very much cover NounsDAO because we ourselves are funded builders through NounsDAO. That's why I would love to know how familiar you are with DAOs. If you comment on LinkedIn or if you comment on YouTube, you can even comment on Twitter or Twitch. We will see it right here in the chat live with you guys too. We would love to know like what your experience is with that. Is this your first time hearing about that, or are you a little bit more well-versed in it? And if so, we'd love to know the DAOs that you kind of are familiar with. There is not just NounsDAO. There's tons of different DAOs that are trying to do different things. I do think that NounsDAO is such a great example of how a DAO can be fully functioning in all the great things that happen, and if all of the things that happen that cause these conversations to happen. I feel like open conversation in these environments is a really good thing. And so in open conversation,
it's the only way that it works.
Yes. In a decentralized open conversation, you're going to get all opinions. And so again, we can go into that too, but I really would love to know, just specifically from the chat who's here with us today, what you guys kind of know about this. That way we can kind of gauge that, because
I mean, I think for this prop, like, I'll have to read it again. You know, they want to buy a noun, and that is
but they're going to use the
money.
profits from the toys,
Right,
not
that-
from their proposal.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think that maybe that could be emphasized, because, you know, that is an investment, or, you know, that is a contribution into the DAO, whatever word, you know, and at today's price, that would be, you know, 2x or 3x what the proposal is asking for. And so,
Well, and for a DAO, like, wouldn't that
That's
be a great
interesting.
return on investment?
yeah, I
That
mean,
an entire new community of people who are already well versed in Web3, like, coming into the DAO.
I think, you know, to play devil's advocate, I think the most important point to understand is that it's CC0. And so there is nothing stopping penguins or anyone from using the noggles and using them to create excitement in their community.
Yes.
And that doesn't require a treasury interaction. But, you know, asking the DAO to put skin in the game is interesting, and is a mechanism that, you know, we will see experiments around. And literally every single prop is its own experiment in
Yeah.
from start to finish. From how does you know, a team get put together? How does it get written? How does it get marketed? How does it get voted on? How does it get executed? And then what is the benefit, or, you know, risk, or whatever, to the group, or to you know, the project or the team that's bringing it in? And, you know, you really have to be in this mindset of experimentation, and you do have to have a thick skin, because it would be unhealthy for everyone to agree on everything. And so there is going to naturally be a disagreement. And I think that, you know, for the DAO, you know, it's just, it just is what it is. I mean,
That's why I also, like, whenever I talk about proposals and the proposal process itself with people either who are familiar with the DAO structure or not, I always make a point of saying that the proposal process itself, like, is its own project almost.
Oh,
like, you're in a
gosh.
completely different mindset than you
Oh,
are when you're
I mean,
delivering on the project that you're proposing to
what was it
deliver
that
on.
Luca said on his social? Like, if you're going to build in Web3, prepared to get a receding hairline. Like, bro, I feel you, dog. Like, yeah, you know, it will. If you're at all someone who, like, overthinks, you will overthink. Like, there's just no way around that. And it's a 24/7 environment.
Well, it's an
you know,
element of having to campaign for your idea,
Right.
which is different than what your idea could possibly be, unless your idea is like, I'm campaigning for this thing. Like, even our specific proposal involves a live stream and traveling around and being these ambassadors that kind of discuss the greater NounsDAO ecosystem as a whole. And even though we're ambassadors discussing these things, like, the way that we had to be ambassadors for our own prop was completely different than how we're talking about Nouns now too. So it is a good reminder that the proposal process feels and is and should be treated like its own project.
Yeah.
That's why they, you know, people take the writing of how the proposal is put up, like, so seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, you know, from that point on, basically, like, after you write your proposal, like, people kind of are very open about how you can deliver on whatever you are the key bullet points that you've said that you would deliver on. And people kind of, like, give you freedom to have your own style. And there isn't really this, like, talk on, like, ROI. And I haven't really actually seen, not to when I can remember over the last few hundred props, like, a prop coming and saying, like, they want to buy into Nouns with profits that they're receiving. Like, that's not even required of the DAO for you to put your proposal in. So I do find that interesting. I like the take of this whole thing. I myself am just, like, love seeing these projects of, like, this. For me, especially as a duo that goes around and highlights the importance of onboarding new people into Web3. That's not an easy task. And through toys and this thing and like going through that little environment and like them selling out on Amazon in the first day, like I can see how that is a great indicator. Like just a great example is recently Harry Styles at a concert asked his community to like if they wanted to opt into a digital wallet, right? Web3. And 5,000 people opted in. They have no idea what they're opting in for. No one really knows what's going to happen with it. They don't know yet how Harry's utilizing this or how his people and their community are going to utilize it. But 5,000 people opted in. In one night, Harry Styles onboarded 5,000 new people into Web3. It's going to be through toys. It's going to be through music. It's going to be through ticketing. We talk about this extensively on Nouns on the Air. All of these different avenues that we foresee as well. We're out there meeting people and joining events and going to music events and seeing brand new people who have no idea what an NFT is, but they're at an NFT ticketed music event. Like we see these as the avenues and structures that are going to onboard people, this big, massive onboarding that everyone hopes for and talks about quite often. And I think that toys are such a clear pathway to that. The fact that you could buy your Pudgy Penguin and you can either join the digital world or not, but like once you're in there, you got a wallet address and you have a specific one. Like you may not even know that that's happening. Hi, our Twitch fan. Awesome to see you. What's your name? Santranzia. Ooh, spicy.
Say that 3 times.
We never see comments from Twitch. It's so awesome to see you here. It just is like confirmation that we are actually live on Twitch. I never kind of really know, and I need to definitely do a little bit more research. Welcome to our awesome live stream, Nouns on the Air. We're talking all things Web3. If this is something you know about or don't know about, this is going to be the perfect place for you to kind of just hang out with us. But we are currently talking about, if you don't really know about Web3, how people are onboarding currently into Web3. And that is through toys, music, these other ways that like kind of maybe you're already interacting with something that's Web3 related and you just don't even really know about it. And think about it too, like if you were using your iPhone, right? Like your grandma can use an iPhone. She doesn't know what that thing looks like. Okay.
It's a stretch.
Okay, she doesn't know what I'm saying is like what's in here. I don't even know the computer different parts that are in this phone, right? I'm just using it and I know how to use it and I'm trusting that it's doing what I want it to do. Okay. Like same thing with Web3, like when you're onboarding into it, you can have a wallet address or have something involved with it without having to know the exact specifics of how it's working. It's not a great example.
I think that's the goal. That's not quite where we're at right now, but yeah, that's the goal.
But through these things like the toys, oh, you're from Argentina. Yes. Nice. We love that. Shout out to you. You know a little bit about Web3. And here is a unicorn business that makes smart festival tickets. Oh, okay, nice. Okay. Yes, that's really cool. So exactly. That is exactly what we're talking about. So you could even purchase a festival ticket and not even understand or have to know anything about Web3, but you're participating in it. This is exactly what we're talking about. How masses of people are going to be onboarded and using this technology. Because when we're talking about Web3...
I've been saying tickets are going to be the thing for...
Cheffo has been saying tickets.
For a year now. I mean, I used to have conversations with the token proof guys before they were even in beta, so...
I've been saying toys and music. I think the music artists for sure, but again, music and tickets is kind of like can be the same. Like you said, festival tickets.
Yeah.
It's just gonna happen, you guys, because when we say Web3, all we're talking about and what people don't necessarily need to know is like how the Ethereum blockchain works or how blockchain works.
But it is realistically like the next wave probably going to happen via centralized services and providers and using email addresses or accounts that can be recovered and all that kind of stuff, which is cool. Yeah, it's just different than kind of the true degen stuff that's happening now where decentralization, DeFi, and all this stuff. So,
yep. And you don't even need to have, this is what he's saying, a crypto wallet. You put your credit card and the software makes a wallet automatically for you and you don't even see that.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. People have figured this out. It's so cool because we're finally ready for this. I feel like a few years ago when people were still figuring out blockchain, like the big onboarding mess and kind of issue was like you had to like walk people through why they needed a wallet. Then you have to like get them to do the wallet.
I mean,
And-
for me, for those kind of solutions, like I would hope that it did have some type of like empowerment or upside, where it's
Mhm.
like you could buy a ticket, hold it, and sell it and make money. Like, it
Mhm.
kind of, I don't know what to call that. Like, I mean, some people, I guess that's a version of like scalping or something, and that's kind of like frowned upon. But then it's like, well, okay, well, like, why make it an NFT? Like, if and the truth of why to make it an NFT is because then you can unlock other experiences. I mean, you can do that already with Web 2, but maybe not in as much of a robust way. It'll just be really interesting, like what's happening right now. It's this weird time in Web 3 where people are trying to make it easy for people
Mhm.
while still maintaining like certain Web3 mantras, and that's again going to be like a project by project basis, and people are just going to have to do their own research, and they're going to have to really, you know, figure out what version they want to be a part of, or if maybe they want to be decentralized over here and they don't mind being centralized over here, and it's just going to be unique decisions that people are going to have to make.
Yeah, because people like yourself, like maybe some people are like, okay, that's it. I got my ticket, right? I have my wallet.
Yeah.
Not interested in anything else, but thank
Right.
you so much. When there's going to be other people that are like, well, how do I access that wallet?
Right.
What else can I do with this wallet?
Exactly.
And like coolest thing about crypto
And
wallets
then the next
is
question
like,
is, can someone else access my wallet?
well, the coolest thing that I was going to say about crypto wallets too is like you can receive airdrops from companies. Like, what if you went to this one event and then they notice that, hey, you went to another event, so now you can get rewards? What if they're like, hey, you attend 2 of these festivals, we're going to airdrop you, which just means it's just going to pop up in your wallet as a ticket, the 3rd festival ticket. Like,
But
you can
couldn't
get
they-
rewards
I
for
mean,
that.
couldn't they technically just send you an email as well? Like, you bought a ticket, you have a ticket, and then you have to use an email to sign up or your phone number, and they could either like text you or email you. So, I mean, some of those things already exist, and so again, you have to ask yourself, like, why an NFT?
Mhm.
And I don't have the answer. Those companies are going to have the answer, and those people are going to have the answers. And I don't think that anybody who tells you that they have the answer right now has the answer. And I think that even companies that are experimenting with these things will continue to have to evolve. Like Ticketmaster is not the same as it was when it started, right? And like nothing is. And so there is an evolution to the technology. We're going to see a lot of different tech kind of come together. You'll see
Yep.
facial recognition come together with NFTs and Web3. You'll see,
I just got my eyeball scanned
yeah,
by an orb for WorldCoin.
good luck with that. I mean, I don't know. Like, so you'll see a lot of it. Like, I read something on Twitter the other day. This lady had a fit. She was like, I went to the airport and they wanted to scan my face, and she said, I'm not going to do it. And they said, well, you can't get on the plane. And so it's like, yeah, it's a new world that we're in right now, and Nouns is at the frontier of that, and because it's an open ecosystem, and because contracts can be interacted with, and because there's significant funding and creative people, like, you're going to see different mechanisms. And what it really will come down to is if and when people bring an idea to the table or bring a new mechanism to the table, it just really needs to be thought out, and it really needs to be done with like the future in mind. And I think, that's just super interesting. And I'm here for it. I'm here to see where it all goes. But if you think that it's easy, or if you think that it's like easy and quick to understand, it's not. And
Well, that's why we have a whole live stream.
and it's
dedicated
not
to
easy
it.
to explain either. And so it does take like this, and you have to hear it from real people, and like you have to hear different voices and opinions and see it and feel it, and it's a lot. And I think that we are like deep in it, but I mean, I get frustrated all the time, and like I get, I have to like challenge myself to think about something and then rethink about it and yada yada, and it's like there really is no right answer either. A lot of times, like it is subjective. That's also a tricky part of it. Like anybody who's looking for a black and white answer is most of the time gonna just be frustrated because you're not gonna get that. And when there are things like DAO treasury mechanisms where pretty much at the end of the day, like it's a little different than like corporate world where, okay, like let's say there's an idea and you run it up the ladder and you give it to your boss and they give it to their boss and they give it to someone else and yada yada yada, and then finally someone makes a decision. That still doesn't mean that like it can't be nuanced or it can't be like changed a little bit, this that. But when like you go on chain and you lock it on the blockchain, it's like you're kind of done. And it's like you're at, like at some point you have to say, okay, well, this is the idea, this is the prop, this is the idea, we're gonna go for it. And then you go for it, and then there's like these basically
it's very like
the clock
final.
starts. Yeah, the clock starts and then it runs and you can't stop it, and then the votes come and then they're locked on chain and then the results are there, and like
the reasons are on chain.
yeah, there's these mechanisms that are very definite. I don't think I did that right, but definitive.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I think that can be frustrating, and we've been fortunate. We are funded builders, and that was its own process, and with the live stream and all that, and going around and traveling around the world and meeting different builders and in person and all of these things, like we then like have this like really human connection to the whole thing. Like going down to Brazil like the week after their prop did not pass, like that was intense. Like I'm not gonna lie, like we talked about it, was like, dang, like what is it gonna be like? Are these guys gonna be like, what's the mindset? And like the Brazilians are amazing, shout out Brazil, Tamo junto. But
Tamo junto.
Like it is intense, and it would be interesting to get people on here while their prop is on chain, like that's what I'm interested in. I want to hear
I
those
do want to
stories.
know, but okay, but again, because we're so involved, right? So we have all these opinions. I still think that with all the frustrations of everything you just said,
Yeah.
with how hard it is to go on chain, to have comments with reason on chain,
Yeah.
to like, have
And
this
anonymous
like definitive
comments.
thing. I know, but to have this definitive thing, that's still better, in my opinion, than what it is before. Because the thing that you described earlier is actually the opposite of what happens. You don't have an idea that then goes up the chain. When you're at the bottom of the chain,
Yes and no.
You are literally only implementing the ideas that come from the very top down, and you don't get an opinion. You don't get creative freedom.
Yes and no.
No, yes. Like for example, for Red Bull, shout out Red Bull, of course. I had like a fantastic time working for the company, but I was at the very bottom of the chain. Even though like I helped manage like the Red Bull team of like the Mini Cooper cars that went out and handed out Red Bulls for like a certain.
For the most part, you're correct. Yes.
Well, let me finish my idea.
Yeah.
So for the Los Angeles area,
Yeah.
I got to say, I was told you have to plan out these things for these days.
Yeah.
These are the exact types of things you can do.
Yeah.
I didn't get to say, what if I did this? What if I threw an event that did this? Hey, can I access these things? No. You get no creative freedoms. You have to like do everything that's from my boss above, and then my boss has a boss, and then his boss has a boss.
Yeah.
And like we don't get to be in those meetings. We don't get to hear those meetings. We get to see the pitch decks and the exact things that they're telling us are like what we're going to implement.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like when that is now, we have the power now, right? The fact that we can put our own creative ideas, wade through the hard parts of learning how to do that in a way that's accepted by the group, like put those out there on chain for good or for worse, like getting all the good comments, getting all the bad comments. That's still better to me than like having no creative freedom at all to implement anything, That's just kind of my take on the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, yes, there's a really super empowering, interesting element of people, groups being able to put their idea in front of money. And
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
NFT version. It just hit me right now that we have talked before on Instagram. This
Cool.
is so freaking cool. You're saying that we had an IRL Nounish event in Tehran and had a token
Amazing.
frame to display digital art and register wallets as free tickets. Very cool ticketing again. It was cool. People onboarded into Web3 use case and its uses. Yes. Okay. That is awesome. I just registered that we have talked before on Instagram. It's awesome to have you here. Thank you so much for tuning in. And the fact that we are all around the world, in Argentina, in India, in Malaysia, in Persia, like in Tehran, like we're in Tokyo right now. Like the fact that we're in different places of the world brainstorming about the possibilities of onboarding people to Web3 through even tickets, like this to me is like miraculous. Like this shouldn't have, the fact that this is happening
what should happen
is crazy.
It
Yes,
is
it should
happening.
happen. That's
It
what I'm
will
saying.
happen.
Even us right now, right? For example, we're talking about ticketing and music onboarding.
Yeah.
We're onboarding through, we pushed a button and we're live. We're onboarding through media.
Yeah.
We're onboarding through like live streaming media on a social media platform, on multiple social media platforms. And just by having a discussion alone, we're like helping to, I guess, obviously we're not like leading right now. We're like, but we are in our own little way shaping the way that people are potentially being onboarded into NFTs and into Web3. And NFTs, it's so interesting because like we go to so many different conferences and some people have been throwing around like, let's get rid of the word NFTs, but you know, like we can't because it's such a basis, like it's such a huge thing. But I do understand.
I have
like
yet to hear a better one.
it's so beyond NFTs.
Digital
though,
collectible
too.
is not it.
It's not it. But like it's really all of it, and it's about onboarding people into all of it because just for example, like NounsDAO, like or a ticket itself could be essentially an NFT. Like it's a non-fungible token that gets you entrance into an art show or into a gallery opening. I don't know. This is all so important and it is really good to have. And I didn't mean to like during our discussion earlier about DAOs and governance pools to cut you off. I do, now that we've talked to chat and we understand that people are here and they kind of understand Web3 a little bit, I do really want a dedicated governance show.
Sure, absolutely.
I think it'd be so good. And if you guys are interested in that, let us know. The governance part about it is so important because it's probably the thing that Nouns is doing correct that we don't see quite often in other communities. Because it's the discussion. Governance allows for this conversation to happen on chain, good and bad, you know, controversy, not controversy, with all different projects, but it allows people to actually express and then be a part of a choice that happens.
Well, what it is also is people have to make a decision. And so it's like, I won't. So it's like, there's the phrase like, blank or get off the pot. Like people can talk about things until they're blue in the face, you know, but at the end of the day, when you have to vote,
when you got to sign that transaction,
you know, and then obviously people can vote from anonymous wallets and this, that, and the other. And people have their own particular reasons for that. That's a different conversation. Yeah. It creates accountability, and then that accountability is immutable. And those decisions that you make are immutable, and that's not to say that people can't vote one way this day and then, you know, evolve their position on the next things or whatever. I think that we've already kind of started to see individuals kind of evolve in the way that they vote. And governance is not just one thing. There's going to be different mechanisms of governance. The one that we were referencing earlier is a new mechanism in Nouns that, you know, was kind of like third party built essentially. Like it wasn't interacted on chain. It doesn't do that. Like it's just it's like a governance pool. But that governance pool can be purchased and bid on. And I just think that's a very slippery slope.
Yes, and like we do. Unfortunately, we're having such a great conversation here today. I wish
Yeah.
we could continue for the next hour or so.
Yeah.
But we are meeting a friend here in Tokyo. We are so excited. He's actually part of NounsDAO Japan and has art that he does all around, like different Nounish art. So we're going to go meet up with him and go to a museum, go to an NFT gallery, and do a lot of things. And so I do, unfortunately, we have like 9 minutes left of this podcast. So funny NFT Persian. The first thing that we have to say is it's not just a PFP. Us too. We totally get that.
No, it's definitely not just a PFP.
No. And like, where do we get this opportunity to actually do this? And like, truly, since like maybe if at university or something, right? You get these fake scenarios that then everybody has these like grand discussions on, but not anything that you're actually implementing or can like make a real change on. Like,
well, the interesting thing too is that like, I think a lot of times, especially people that are new to the ecosystem, you know, even like with the whole like Threads platform and stuff that's coming out right now, you know, you're already starting to see people say, "Oh, well, keep the Web3 people off of it," or yada yada yada, and like
so strange.
You know,
yeah, they're keep the crypto people away from
right.
Threads. It's like, what?
But that's kind of like my point, though, is that like in this particular conversation, like it is a difference between NFTs and crypto. I mean, some of the similarities are, you know, if like you're using your ERC20s, your crypto tokens, and then however many tokens you have, that kind of translates into a vote. And I think some DAOs are doing that. I mean, there definitely are DAOs doing that. Yes, that's what it is. And then, you know, with NFTs, like it is, there's similarities in the sense that like if someone wants to come in and spend a lot of money, they can buy a bunch of your NFTs and then they can kind of control that vote. And so there are those similarities, but if you take that whale control conversation out of it, then NFTs are different because they unlock things because they are a non-fungible token. And so you can create a lot more individualized mechanisms and a lot more traceability to how like wallets and things are voting, and you can't quite do that the same way with ERC20s. And so NFTs are amazing, you know, in that way. And I think for tickets and stuff like that, that'll, you know, the nice thing about tickets is that like it's a ticket. You're not, you know,
it's very clear what's happening with it.
Right.
You're gaining entrance to a thing.
Yeah,
it's a very
exactly.
specific thing.
And like my T-Swift ticket is not going to like cause someone else to like, you know, lose their mind or FUD it or whatever. Like there's just tickets are great like that. And I think for those reasons,
it's very clear use case.
That's why tickets will probably be the thing that brings millions of people into the world. Into this world. I really believe that because it's just so much easier than governance. Governance is hard. Governance is not always fun. Like people's feelings get hurt. Like when someone disagrees with you on something, your immediate reaction is to then talk about that, maybe yell about that, argue, like whatever that is. It's passion, and when you start to get into governance, exactly. And we see that in politics all around the world, not just in the United States, all around the world. There's passion in politics, to say the least. And I think, you know, one nice thing and one reason why people do things anon is so that they can participate in governance without fully being like attacked or slandered or whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's just such a complicated conversation, governance. And then on top of that, you know, you very quickly start to talk about, well, like, what about how is this idea or that idea? And like, what do I like about this? What do I like about that? You know, blah, 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 blah. And like, everyone has an opinion. I had mine earlier, you know, and so it's like, it is a lot. And we are fortunate enough that we've been in it for long enough time now that we can kind of do that in a little bit more of a I don't know, like analytical way or
Well,
fair
we've been through the process
fair way.
ourselves.
Right. Yeah, exactly. We've felt the heat and like
and we're at least allowed to speak on that.
yeah,
You know, our
definitely.
personal experience with it.
Yeah.
And the personal experience of like other individuals who are going through the process or have gone through it and have expressed those opinions of how it feels to them. Like,
But I think the most important takeaway is that like it is an experiment. And
but no matter how it feels, also
right.
the fact that we get to be a part of that is a good thing. Like, to be like,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
the freedom of speech like can feel great at times and feel not great at times depending on how that's utilized, but having it
Yep.
is important.
Absolutely.
Being able to participate in this governance process in this way, anonymously or not, and then like receiving feedback that we appreciate or are maybe hurt by because it's like touching on a part of our passion. Like
For me,
that's a good thing that we get to have this opportunity.
well, yeah, and you know, we talked about it at breakfast this morning. It's like in the beginning of NounsDAO, there was this whole thing of like, okay, like put your thing on discourse and then let people comment about it and have a conversation and then come back and maybe make a couple changes because like what we were saying, once you do go on chain, you're on chain and you are going to get voted on what you put out there. Now, yes, people might juice their vote a little bit based on how they like you or don't like you, but at the end of the day, they're voting on the idea that you presented, and that's really the truth. And so, I personally would love to see more of a front process, more of a beginning process. I think that there will be a lot of healthy growth if we can learn to do that and not necessarily like do all the communicating when things are just put on chains. So for me personally, like I think that again, it is about communication. We have this great platform. Hopefully we can get proposers to come on here at all steps of the process, you know, that would be really amazing. And so, you know, we are essentially Web3 scientists, Aubtoshi.
Well, you know,
Do you feel like a scientist?
I don't. I feel a little bit more like a radio host, and I would probably like that job a little bit more than a scientist. But we are scientists in the sense that we're proposing questions to the universe and then receiving the answers back through this type of experiment, I suppose, that we're
It's our responsibility
but
to use our voice to.
we're out of time. I'm so sorry. We like desperately have to get into a car to go meet our friend. Obviously, I would love to continue this conversation, and lucky for you guys, we're back tomorrow. So
Looks like we're coming back.
come on back tomorrow with us.
Continue this tomorrow.
Nouns on the air. Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays right now. That is going to change soon. I will make that announcement probably on our third day this week on Saturday. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us, just all around the world. We truly appreciate it. I'm going to turn off this music because I actually want to like be serious with you guys.
We had great guests, or we had great viewers today. That was great.
Yes, and speaking specifically to what Cheffo was saying, if you guys have an event or an idea or anything going on in Web3, like you guys had something going on with the gallery, let us know.
Yeah.
We would love to talk about your event on this podcast. That is the entire point.
Yeah.
We are here to help onboard people and make this process easier, be it to NFTs, Web3, governance, DAOs, nouns, all of it.
Yeah.
Like this is our passion. We're so happy to share it with you guys. Thank you so much again for being here with us and sharing your opinions. Shout out to Twitch. Let's go to Twitch. We love you guys.
Shout out Twitch.
Shout out Twitch. I'm gonna get on there and like actually like make my profile look cool. I don't know how to do that, but we're gonna make that happen. Shout out to YouTube. Thank you so much. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube, that is where I suggest you subscribe. That's like what I'm trying to build. You get notified every single time we go live. Shout out to LinkedIn. Thank you guys always. My little business fam over there.
Yeah,
my little
love that.
Professional business fam watching us on LinkedIn. And then of course, one of my favorite platforms, Twitter. Because NFTs and crypto and Web3 live and are just proliferated massively on Twitter.
We love Twitter.
Thank you guys so much. Let's fucking go, NFT Persian.
Wow, Aubtoshi, so bold of you.
Thank you guys so much. We will just follow us so you can see all the amazing photos and videos that we will post later of these adventure we're going to go on right now in
It's
Tokyo.
hot here in Tokyo.
It is hot, so I might be a little bit more frizzed out by the time you see me next. But tomorrow, we will see you then. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful